Welcome back, my friends. My name is Eric. This is Rome. We are back with some more StarCitizen. This morning, I was watching an excellent video from Quadatron right here. Now, I like him a lot, maybe because his avatar is also an old bearded dude, which I assume means he's also an old bearded dude. I don't know that for sure. Quadatron, if you see this man, let me know. Let me know. Anyway, excellent video about setting up a ship as a mobile base. He wants to do a series where he is on a mobile base on a planet, and he just picked up an M2 for that, and he loves it for that. It gives him a huge amount of room. Let's see if I can find a bit of the cargo bay here. You can see he's got a Pisces, he's got a Nursa, he's got some bikes, he's got some cargo. Let's see, can we get another shot there? So he's got 3 ships in it. Well, 4 vehicles, I guess. He's got a Dragonfly, he's got a Fury, he's got a Nursa, and he has a Pisces in it. So 4 ships plus cargo plus a great weapons rack. I think it has room for like 12 guns, 12 rifles and a few heavy guns, maybe 4 heavy guns. I don't remember. We'll take a look at it. It's a great ship for it, but it had me thinking, what else do I have that can do that type of functionality where you can land on a planet, live on the planet? I did learn that you can now bed log from a planet, which I did not know you could do. I thought you just had to be kind of in the middle of space somewhere, but apparently shut down on a planet, you can in fact bed log, and he demoed it. So that's pretty cool. What would you use for that sort of gameplay? You're not necessarily looking for a ship that can go out and do patrol missions and that sort of stuff. You're looking to be based on a planet, maybe run some planetary hauling, maybe run some bunker missions, maybe run a bounty hunter mission there for other ships that are on the planet. Some of the early beginner ones are all on the planet. You can go fly around and do those. So, or maybe just take the mercenary mission where you get paid $500 per head and just go find dudes to start wasting, right? And live on the planet and do that. So you want some flexibility. You want some flexibility in small ships. You want some flexibility in ground vehicles. You want a medical bed because you don't want to keep popping back over to, you know, Area 18 or wherever it is that you may be bound. You want to be able to live out on the land. And so what do you do with that? I'm going to start with, well, let's start with some honorable mentions. But maybe more bigger, unrealistic ships for the vast majority of people, like a Polaris. It's got a great hangar on top. It's got a huge cargo bay that you can put all sorts of stuff in. It would be great for this, but it's not meant to be a solo ship. And its price is such that it probably prices us out for most people. If we look at a Polaris, you are going to see that it is $975. That is a lot. I don't think an Idris is purchasable at the moment. Well, neither is that. An Idris is going to cost you $1,000, and if you want to, you know, the P, it's going to cost you $1,900, right? Not even for sale. Now, I do have a couple of big ships purchased in the game already that are motherships. So I've got a merchantman, right? It's only $650, a bargain at that price as a heavy freight, but it's a ship that's meant to have potentially player-owned stores on it. So it's going to be a bigger ship. I think it'll be a great mothership kind of ship, but probably not a ship you land on the planet very often. So by my current definition, not as much. Now, I do also have a Liberator on order. This one, not this one, and that's perfect. That's what it's for. Land on the planet. You've got ground vehicles. You've got spaceships. You run everything. But for the moment, don't have that. And that's down to $575. If and when that comes out, compared to some of these ships for what it gives you, that's probably competitively priced. It's not a good price, but ratio of these other ships, it's not too bad. I'm going to start, however, with, I think, the most expensive ship on my current list that I have now. I'm going to go with the Carrick. Now, these 3 I don't believe are purchasable. I don't know if they were ever purchasable, except maybe as an early concept. I love the artwork for them. If we take a look, we see, I love this older style. This is so mean looking. I wish we would have got this. Looks like maybe a taller ship, but maybe just 2 levels. Well, 3 levels still, right? You've got cargo, you've got that, but probably narrower or either significantly longer. I'm not sure which, but I love the big antennas off it. It clearly had bigger guns at one point. It's really cool. Now, it does say the Expedition has advanced jump drive dedicated core for jump charting operations. Now, the newer version, the one I'm going to show you today, has all of that. The others say that you can get them with a C8X and an Ursa. This one also comes with a C8X and an Ursa, or the Pisces and C8X Pisces. So they do come with other things. So don't be confused by that. This one has everything. I think those are just legacy things. So we're going to take a look at it. It costs $600 in game, or for cash, and in game it runs about 35 million. Now, it has very little damage, 679 DPS, controllable by the pilot. It's got some big ass turrets there on the sides that are amazing, and you can get an extra 2,000 DPS if you've got some extra people to pop into this. But if you're running this as a solo mothership to do ground operations, you're not going to be hopping up over a hill, killing all the turrets at a bunker. You're not going to be doing that. Now, it's got the shields for it. It's got 90,000, but it's going to take you forever at 679 DPS. Not really realistic. So this one is one you're going to land off to the side behind a hill and then drive in on a vehicle or a truck or a bike of some sort. That's really going to be your deal. It also has pretty detectable. Do we have, where are signatures on this one? Here we go. So 35 kilometers away, 44 kilometers away. So you're going to have to park this thing a long ways away from, let's say, Shepherd's Rest, if you don't want people to see it and come blow it up, right? So it's not going to be the most stealthy option. Take that for what it's worth. You're going to want to park this thing away from other places if you don't want to draw attention. While we're waiting for it to come up, it has a hanger on top that is meant, obviously, for a C8X Pisces, and it fits this ship beautifully. It also, if you saw my salvaging mothership, fits a Salvation perfectly. It will also fairly easily fit this little guy here, a Razor, or a Fury. It might also fit a Kruger snub fighter. I don't know. I haven't tried. I don't have one anymore to put in there. The Ox is too tall. Now, you might be able to get it in with the landing gear up, just land it on its belly and call it a day. But otherwise, I think it's too tall for the door to fit on top. You can see it is significantly taller than a Pisces. We're not here to talk to do fringe cases, because the people that are interested in this gameplay, they're not interested in fringe cases. I don't think most people are going to want something that's pretty easy to use. Now, we do have some nice to haves here. We have obviously these cargo doors right here, which are great. You can put a lot of storage in them. They're a pain in the butt to put 8s and 16s, 32s, anything that's too tall, because they are meant to drop down and they don't. So you don't have a lot of room to get stuff in and through there. But if you are hunting Copian, for instance, on a planet, you can land in this, sit up here, and hunt all day long, and they can't get to you and take your time. If you're doing bunkers that don't have turrets and you want to sit just there and sit up here and snipe at them, also perfect place. You can sit up there in your prone position with your sniper rifle and finish off everybody, and there's not a whole hell of a lot they can do about it. Great for that. And again, it does still have a fair amount of cargo. You could also tractor beam up an Atlas Geo, bikes, pretty easy. You could tractor up any of the bikes and then fly them out of there. You're going to want to tractor them up, but then you should be able to fly them out without any trouble. And because it's got a lot of head height in there, when you get on, if it decides to go up, it's not going to put you through the ceiling. Then you can lower your altitude and come down. It also has a lovely little garage in here. You can put an Ursa, you're feeling all bougie as you fly around in your Carrick, maybe a Lynx, right? Something like that. It's got this cool little deal here. You can put up, you could also use this if you're at bunkers and sit here and snipe from behind here with some cover, or it just is a nice place to back up to so you don't back into the doorway, right? And then you can put a bike along the side and put some cargo on the side. Works really well for all of that. We'll come in here real quick. I'll show you the inside view of this. Again, lots of head height here. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can set up a room in here, put some furniture here, set up a living room if you want. And again, you could easily fly out your motorcycles out of here. You can put a whole fleet of them in here. And you and your buddies, you open up all the doors, and like 30 30, you know, dragonflies or Oppo and Noxus fly out of here in a giant pirate biker swarm. That would be pretty cool. So we have all that. We're not going to do a full tour. We're gonna look at the stuff that's appropriate for the role that we're talking about. So we are going to go to technical deck quickly. I'll show you the hangar. We're not going to load a ship in it. You can, there's plenty of stuff up there. There's no questions to the basics fitting in here. And this is our hangar right here, and we can open it up and bring stuff in from the top. There is also an upper level. You can actually get up on that deck. We probably see it from here. Yeah, you can see that level from right there. It does have a top turret that's decent that you can put something in. So you could, if you have a buddy, peek the hill and get up just high enough for them to see over the hill and shoot. And then you've still got the shields to do that pretty well. But it would be a two-person operation. So let's go down a level. Is there anything else up here? We do have drones up here as well. Drones aren't in the game yet, but it has drones. Those might be useful for this later. Oh, and also, very important for potential upcoming stuff, we have our own crafting station. So this ship does have a crafting station. So you could put, I don't know what you do. You could get, depending on how crafting is going to work. If most of the stuff we can make with construction material, for instance, with a few odds and ends that we gather somewhere, you could work out of this pretty heavily with the salvation up here and then give yourself a combat ground vehicle of some sort down there, or even a rock, right? And that gets you some ground mining, and it gets you some salvaging that you could do, and then use that to feed your crafting. Very, very possible that you could do that sort of thing with it. Let's go to the habitation deck quickly. We got a couple things to look at here, and then we'll move on. So first and most important, this ship does have a medical bed. So we've got a couple of beds here, two little ones here, and then the higher level one here. I don't remember what the numbers are. I think this is the really good one, and then these are the two not so good ones. I think there's, what, 3 levels? Let's check. Can we check on this? Does it say? Does it tell us medical beds on here? This would be a good thing for them to put on here, right? What medical bed sizes they have. Okay, let's go back to here. I don't know where it would be. Anyway, it's got good medical beds for what it's worth. Armory. Where would the armory be? I think this is a bathroom. So this would be our barracks. So we've got big storage there, more storage there. Give me a minute to figure out where the actual armory stuff is. This is the technical deck. There is your wormhole navigation equipment that I said was in it. Up top here, we have our sniper spot. Again, another great spot to sit up and either hunt or put a lawn chair out up here. You know, when this door is closed, especially, you've got full access to run around up here. So you could easily run around up here and snipe people, things, whatever, all still conveniently covered by the shields. And you got pretty good access all over the top here for that sort of stuff. All right, here we go. At the very back of the ship, we have our suit lockers, and we have our weapons lockers here. So this is bottom level, and we've got a huge amount of space, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and looks like 12 up there, and we've got the same over here, right? So no heavy weapons that I can see. just, but 6 suits, lots of guns. We've got an elevator right there. You can get down here pretty easily. We've got the very aft turret. Okay. This is the lower aft turret. There's a lower and an upper. So all the way in the back here, you can get suited up. So decent garage space, not huge, but decent. These are great if you want to put some bikes in them, an Argo, either Atlas or Geo. Cargo, obviously, although again, anything that's 2 SCUs tall, so your 8s, your 12s, your 16s, your 32s, I think it only takes 16s. Maybe it takes 24s. Anyway, they're a pain in the ass to get in there. But otherwise, it's bougie. It doesn't have a lot of firepower, but it has good medical beds. Of the ships we're going to look at today, it has the best medical bed. But otherwise, it's an exploration ship. It's meant to be a mothership to a certain level, but it's not meant to be a fully militarized mothership. It's meant to be a more general purpose, lovey-dovey mothership that can defend itself if it needs to, and that's kind of the extent of it. So again, you can put a rock in here, you could put a Salvation up there, you could put a bike in here or another smaller vehicle with that sort of stuff, and you'd be just fine. It is what it is. I do use it for that purpose on occasion. I love my Carrick. It is one of those ships that I love that I don't fly nearly enough because I have too many ships, and many of them I love. This is one of my early loves. I bought it, I sold it, I instantly regretted it, and I went and bought it again. That's my 2 thumbs up, large soda and popcorn at the movie theater review, right? That's as good a review as you're going to get. Let me pull up my next ship now. Our second most expensive ship that we're going to talk to you about today is the M2 Hercules, which comes in at $520 for cash. And if we come in here, we are going to see that it runs about 29 million AUEC, so about 5 million less than the Carrick. Now, it has 2,700 DPS, controllable by the pilot with 2 4s and 2 size 5 guns. It comes with some M7As and some M6As. Respectively up there. It's crazy. And then it's got another 1,700 on some turrets if you got a buddy to add on. And it has 132,000 shield and a quadrant shield. So you can put all of the recharge to the front shield, and you can sit there just over that hill and snipe and knock out those turrets in no time. You probably don't even need to duck or not duck too often. In the TAC, which we're going to talk about soon, I can pop up, kill one, then I have to drop, then I can come up, kill the other one. And usually by that time, the DPS has come down enough that I can just sit there and fill it. You might not have to duck in this ship. You might just be able to sit out in the open, just blatantly blast away and kill those turrets. It is got crazy DPS and shield. And again, 29 million. So it's cheaper than the Carrick, but not significantly. And dollar-wise, 520. So still pretty darn pricey, and different, right? So here it is. Now this will fit anything that I've kind of got out in the hangar right now. All the ships we've talked about will fit. We obviously saw what he had in his video in there quite a bit. So we don't really need to go into it too deeply. There is a really good armory up in the there's a dropship section that will hold, I think, 12 people with jump seats. And it has a pretty good section as well that will hold, I think, also 12 rifles plus a hand. Now, let's go look, because now I don't remember. We'll take the elevator up. Obviously, it's got huge room. You can fit, he had 3 ships and he had 3 vehicles and a bike in there. So, oops, did I get it? Yeah. And you could, with proper packing, get more in there. There's a lot of stuff that'll fit in an M2 Hercules. But for our purposes, something you're going to probably want either a NURSA, or a medical Pisces, because there is no medical bed in this. This is the drop off from the Carrick. You are much more military, but you don't have a medical bed. So you're going to have to bring your own medical bed with you. And that's going to be one of your options. So, but you could obviously do mining and salvage in this. You can easily fit a golem in here. No problems at all. It has the extra height at the load deck. I believe, let's see, we go through here and then all the way to the back. So yeah, we've got room for 12 jump seats there. And then we've got 8 suit lockers, and we've got room for 16 rifles and 4 heavy weapons, and I don't know, 24 handguns. So quite a lot. Obviously, all of these ships that we're talking about have a bed, so you can log off in them. Here, we'll drop out here to look at the load deck really quick. We're not going to spend too much time in here. I've had an M2, I sold it. I had a C2, I sold it. I like both of them. The C2 is more useful for me day to day because it had more cargo grid, and when I owned it, cargo not on the grid had a bad habit of rotating through the floor and disappearing and causing damage. So it's better now than it used to be. But if you want to do this for big cargo missions as opposed to a mothership, the C2 is better. If you want to use it as a mothership, the M2 is better. Much better guns. Maybe the same shields, I don't remember. But I think for a mothership, this is the better option for it. You could also, you could also go with the A2. It has less room on the deck because it has to have room for the bombs, right? It's got the bomb bays in it, but it still has a pretty good sized cargo bay. The back is compromised by that. It's a narrower entrance into it, but the front is still the same. And if we were to take a look at that, let us go A2. What does it cost? Up to $750. So it's pricey, but it has the mother of all bombs. And if we go over here and we take a look at it and we go ship and we go Crusader and we go A2, if you were to buy it in game, it's going to cost you $44 million. So this would be significantly more expensive. You're going to lose some cargo. You're down to 216 SCUs of cargo on the grid. I don't think that's a big deal. You've still got room to park a Nursa or an Ursa between the bays in the back and still put some ships in front. So really, for our purposes, it's not a huge difference. Also 2200 DPS from your turrets, or for the pilot, 198,000. Is that even more? What did the M2 have? Hold on. 198 here. 132. I'm already second guessing myself. Was it really 198? Okay, if you've got the money, 198. Damn. Still with and two size 5s, two size 4s. So same armament. Just more shield. And obviously you could just drop a bomb on the place and call it a day. And then you wouldn't have to shoot the turrets at all. Man, now it's got me thinking. Now, I told you I sold both of mine. I happen to own an M2 and a C2 at the moment, not because I purchased them, but because they are loaners. I've got the M2 as a loaner for the Liberator and the C2 as a loaner for the Merchantman, I believe. So I do have both of them at the moment, but I don't own either of them anymore. I found that the options we're about to look at take care of most of my needs in this realm, but they are very convenient. They're super convenient. The next one we're going to talk about is the Asgard. Asgard is 17 million in game. And I got to put these next two in kind of any order, I guess. And $350 in real money, dropship tax. This is not worth $350. Its in-game price is significantly more competitive compared to the other ships that you'd use it for, or within the range that it is, than its real money price. I love the Asgard. I don't recommend buying it at this price. I recommend buying it in-game where the price is much more reasonable. Now, the Asgard, 1239 DPS, not huge. It's got 6 size 3s that you control and a boatload of missiles, 36,000 shields, so significantly less than the other ships we've done. probably not going to use this to hill hump, Pop-Tart, whatever, turrets at a bunker. Can you do it? Yeah, but you're going to have to be careful, and you're going to end up using missiles, which are going to cost you more money than it's worth doing the mission, right? This one, hide behind the hill, just like you do with the Carrick, drive in and take care of it that way. I think that's the easiest way. Otherwise, let us go and pull one up, and we'll take a quick look at the inside and determine its suitability as a mothership. Once I figure out where the hell I am and where I need to go. I'm there. By the way, every time I pull up my Hercules now, it destroyed itself. This is twice in a row that it has been destroyed on delivery. So take that into account. It may not be something you can use. It might just be this hangar. Because I have flown it recently, but the last 2 times I've pulled it up for this video, it's been destroyed both times. I have not seen this paint scheme yet. This was the best in show paint scheme, I believe, that I got awarded for having it because I own the ship, but I haven't actually used it. And I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I've got some good paint schemes for this. I've got the skull one, right? The Death's Head one. It's got the big black with the big skull on the top. I've got the Sand and Sea one, I think, that's a brown one that I really like. That's kind of 70s, kind of more like, maybe more like a modern Toyota kind of paint scheme as well. They've been playing into that. But damn, I like this. I have this on the Polaris as well, a similar one. But I think this one looks better. Okay, well, I'm glad I picked it because this is my new favorite paint scheme for this now. For what it's worth. I mean, I really like the Death's Head on it, right? My family's from North Carolina. My family originally came over to Barbados back in the early, mid to late 1600s. No, early 1625 maybe to Barbados. It became a colony in 1632, something like that. So pirates are kind of in my blood. All right, this is the Asgard. It's got a big load deck. Now, it is possible, or was possible, to get a NERSA this way in here. However, they've made changes to the tractor beams such that I can't lift and rotate them anymore. It's probably possible to kind of come in like this and then maybe kind of and maybe use a tractor beam to lift and bump it a little bit to try to rotate it. You can't do the rotation itself, but you can hit it against stuff to get it to rotate. You can probably still get a NERSA here and then get a Salvation here or a Pisces here. Or I did this earlier. I went ahead and just pulled an NERSA all the way up to the front here, bump, and then I was able to get a Razor EX in the back. So you can get a ground vehicle and a spaceship in the back here. Depending on how fiddly you want to be is going to determine which ones you can use. This ship does not have a medical bed, so you're going to have to decide if you want to get your medical bed from a Pisces medical or from a NERSA. Your choice. You can potentially do both. It's going to depend on what else you want to do with this ship. Ultimately is what it's going to depend on, how you want to deal with that. You could also go with a ship and then a couple bikes. Obviously, you can put, 4 bikes in here pretty easy, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, and then put a wider ship like a Salvation or a Pisces in here. And then you could maybe even just fly them out the door here. To get them back in, you'd have to use a tractor beam to get them in, I think, but potentially. So great load deck, huge area for cargo. You can fit so much. The cargo deck only goes to this here, right? So all of this on both sides is additional, and everything back here is additional, and you can go right up to the top. Now, there are a bunch of ribs and stuff up top here that really make getting squeezing in extra across the top kind of a pain in the ass, but you can get 300 SCU in here, even though only 180 is officially on the grid. So you have some additional room back down here. We're not going to do a full tour. We've got a seat on either side, engineering turrets. You've got a big turret in the front there, which can put out some significant DPS if you've got a buddy. And you've got lockers on both sides here to fill stuff in. And then we've got an armory up here. So as you can see, I've been using this as a mothership, just like we've talked about. I had a Ursa in the back there and a bike. Do I have a bike back there? Maybe I just had an Ursa back there. And I've been doing ground missions, bunkers and stuff with it. And I picked up a couple extra guns just to put in there. And there's some extra ammo and armor downstairs in the lockers. Like I said, this ship does have 6 size 3 guns, which gets us 1200 DPS. And that front turret's going to get you another 610. So if you've got a buddy, all of a sudden this DPS becomes pretty reasonable with it. This can dogfight a little bit better, well, better than anything we've looked at so far. You could use this for some smaller missions, and if you're good, especially if you want to upgrade some components, you could do some more. However, I will say that it doesn't start with bad components, right? You're going to see we've got military shields, 4 of them, 3 military power plants, 3 military coolers, and civilian quantum drive. I think the 4 shields are kind of a pain in the ass. I don't know that that's the route I'd go. Again, you're getting the benefit of all the hit points, but only the recharge of these 2. You might... I know the current meta is military everything, but you might go military. What is it, Ramparts? Is that the size 2? Or Barbican? I don't remember. You might do those, maybe in the... maybe 2 of them to get the additional hit points. Let's take a look real fast. Let's see if we go here. So obviously these are the full stops. Yeah. So full stop right here is going to get us 9,200 pool hit points, right? For our shield with a regen of 727. So it's a C. It's not the worst, right? And then it has an additional 580 hit points and 1600 EM. Let's not worry about that. We're not worried about being stealthy in this thing. Let us take a look at what a civilian A is 540, the Loricas, right? So almost as many hit points, which is why you run the military, right? Because a size A doesn't quite have as many hit points as a size C. But you're going to get 87 and 798. 8,700, not quite as much, but more regen. So maybe you take the top 2 out and you put these in to get yourself a little bit more regen, slightly less total hit points, but not too bad. Or you could go industrial. It is the Ramparts. So 6,300 and 574. You're taking a hit there. I take it back. I pull it back. Don't run the Ramparts. With 640 hit points, though. So if you are just looking to play that hit point game for longer term survivable of the ship itself, then maybe that's the way you go. But running the 4 shields, man, it's hard. It is hard on the power, right? You need 16 power to run all 4 of these shields. If we were to go with the Loricas, all of a sudden that drops down to 12. That's much doable. And it's probably worth doing it just for that. You're going to lose a little bit of total hit points. You're going to gain some recharge though, and you're going to gain 4 total. Well, 2 total, right? Because you're not going to be able to put power into those extras, right? Isn't that the way it works now? You can fill up, well, you're going to gain a couple anyway. You can't put full power into all. I think you just put power into the ones that are giving you your recharge. So you'll save two on that. Whereas the Rampart is back up to 4. So you know what? It's doable. There we go. Yeah, see? We just got the power for those. So if we were to change these, in fact, I would change these to, well, probably change them all. But if we just change the 2 Loricas, right, because those are the only ones that we can put power into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we can get away with 6, right? We're putting, this one needs a minimum of 2, right? That's where we're at. Lorica is a minimum of 2. The other's a minimum of 1. So we have to put in 2, right? For each of these 2. And then we could put in the 1 extra for them. So all of a sudden we're getting by with 6 instead of with 8. So we'd save 2 power that we could use on our guns, most likely. You're not going to be flying your way out of this. But regardless, as a mothership that's going to see combat occasionally, probably doesn't matter all that much. I have discovered I have a new favorite paint scheme though, and that makes me happy. Let us go ahead off to my next option. This is my fourth option. This is the Starlancer Super TAC. Now, let's spin around so we can see it behind me. See it over my shoulder there, but still see my handsome face for half a second till I bring up the browser. Now, this is $375, and you say, Eric, you said we were going to do these in order of cost. The Asgard was $350. Yeah, but if we take a look here, we see that this is only 13 million, whereas the Asgard, I believe, is 17, almost 18. So, yeah, 4.5 million more. I think realistically, as far as which ship is better and should cost more, the ratio of real dollars, where the TAC is slightly more expensive than an Asgard, makes more sense to me, right? That's a more realistic ratio. The TAC is more shipped than the Asgard. It just is. Dropship tax, though. The Asgard is officially a dropship. The TAC is officially a gunship. Realistically, the Asgard is a vehicle dropship, and the TAC is a personnel dropship. They're both really fill very similar combat roles in that they're both meant to be dropships. They're both meant to go into combat. Now, the TAC is much more survivable, and you can see it's got 90,000 hit points, right? Much more. And it has quadrant shields instead of a bubble shield, which is what the Asgard has. It also has 1,553 DPS, 4 size 4 guns controllable by the pilot, and an additional 2,300 DPS controllable by, well, turrets by other people, and another 80,000 for missiles. Now, some of that is some rear missiles, but it can do significantly more damage, both solo, but also with a group, and it's got a lot more shield, and it's quadrant instead of bubble. It's a better ship. At 13 million versus 17, almost 18 million, it is a screaming bargain in game for UEC. I did not realize that it was this cheap. This is my starter package ship, by the way. This is what I have now. If we were to lose everything except a starter package, this is the one ship I would have. This is my starter package. I've traded up from whatever I started with back in the day. I don't even remember what it is anymore. It doesn't tell you what your starter package started at. Your normal ships, it tells you your chain. Your package, it doesn't. So I can't believe what a good deal this is. Once again, now we're dealing with industrial shields, right? We're not dealing with military ones. They are size 3, though, right? We do have a military grade power plant. We do have a military grade A cooler. So really, it's just the shields that could be upgraded. And what were the shields on my Hercules? If you have both, you could strip the shields off your Hercules and stick them on your TAC. And I might do that because I do fly the TAC more often than I fly the M2 and move those up. Were they full blocks? Is that what they were? All of a sudden, we're up to 132,000 quadrant shield. Let me verify that's what those were there real quick. Full blocks. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So this is another ship that can easily hill hump, pop tart, whatever, take care of the turrets at the bunker. You don't have to drive in on another vehicle, a bike, whatever. You can just fly in, find yourself a convenient hill, pop up, blast the hell out of them, pop down, recharge, do it again. With 132,000 shield, though, I might not have to. With the 90,000, I got to pop down after the first one drops and recharge. But again, you can put all the recharge towards the front. It works beautifully. You could also, I guess, take that engine. Well, no, the other one is a size 2. I was going to say put it in the Asgard, but it's size 2. So anyway, there's some ways you can play with that. Let's take a look at the rest of the TAC and what makes it a good mothership. First of all, it has a hanger on top. It's not a big hanger. Only very little things are going to fit in it. It's meant to be a Fury. You're not going to fit a Salvation. You're not going to fit a Pisces up there. It might fit some other snubs. I don't know if a Kruger will fit. I haven't had much luck with much that I own, but I own a Fury. In fact, it came with the Fury, I think. Did it come with one or did I have to buy one? I think it came with one. So I don't bother with it. I just put the Fury up there. We've got a garage here. Can you fit, say, a Razor in here? Yeah, but it's a pain in the ass because you've got to get down to the ground and then angle up on the ramp because you've got that low roof line there. This is the biggest pain for this garage, is just this low overhead, right? This is going to be what limits you more than anything else. You can get stuff in here, and it will get a Nursa or Nursa in here, but you really gotta pay attention. And some things, if they'll let you put the gun down, you're probably better off putting the gun down off the roof onto the side like a Nursa or Nursa, and then come up that way. Oh, we got a server error. I haven't seen one of these in a little while. The servers have been, my game hasn't been super steady. Well, that was mostly my system, which is fixed. But the servers have been. But we have seen that Hercules, every time I pull it up, has been destroyed each time. Maybe that was our indicator that the server was having issues. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ready to refill. All right, the server seems to have recovered, and I have my drink. So, limited garage, limited hangar, but it has both. You can, like I said, fit an Ursa in here, put a couple bikes on one side, put some cargo storage on the other side. It will work perfectly. This ship also has medical beds, so you don't need a Nursa. You don't need a medical Pisces. You have, even though both the garage and the hangar are more limited, you have fewer needs that you need to fill with those two. So 2 medical beds right here covers a lot of that. We've got obviously some dropship space here. Just like on the Asgard, you have a side door and you have a machine gun that you can sit over for instance, a derelict outpost and hover over and live out your Vietnam Huey dreams, right? Your fantasies, and do that. Or realistically, you can just come over here, hop into one of the side turrets, and do much the same thing. This thing is meant to hover over the battlefield. While the Asgard is labeled as a dropship, man, this thing's meant to come in low and just put down fire. Whereas, I like the fact that everything's labeled up there. And, whoops, do I not have power to the guns? No, we do not. Right, so you can have some fun. It's got to charge up, obviously, right? There we go, 35, 30, 40. So this is the real way to do it. Can we get out of it now? Exit. There we go. So we've got good firepower from the pilot with 4 size 4s. We've got a lot of flexibility for ways to play with content, with side guns and stuff. And then the next thing we need to talk about is armory space. Now, I have a lot of armor, right? We've got suit lockers for 8 people, right? So we've got 6 dropship people and then maybe a pilot and a co-pilot, right? And those guys could potentially run turret guns or side guns as they go. We're going to take the ladder up. There is an elevator that goes to the outside. So you have, there was also a air locker right there. Also a great place if you're using this to go hunt Copian. You just open the air locker and you can shoot from there or go back and shoot from the door gunner section, right? But this goes outside, hits all 3 decks. You've got escape pods and your bridge up there. Back here, you have So the armory was just armor. Here we've got 4 standard rifles, carbines, 4 pistols, and 2 heavy weapons. And I think that's it. It really is kind of lacking on that. Maybe there's more down at the dropship section. But we've got lockers here for storage as well. Let's go. I hadn't thought about that. Oh, while we're up here, I'll show you the hangar since we're up here. And then we'll take the elevator down from back here. There are 3 elevators in this ship, 1 on each corner here. They should get rid of one of them and just give us space. So this is the hangar. That outline is where the Fury fits. So you can see there's not room for much else. You might get something. It's a little longer than it is wide, I guess, if you want to look at it that way, or it's wider than it is long. So you might get something slightly bigger in here. Maybe you could get a razor in here. You come in nose down, get it in, and then get the ass in to drop. I don't know. It's not really worth it for my purposes. But, you know, maybe it is for yours. Again, most people aren't going to fight with stuff. That's always a YouTube video. What can you fit? Oh, look, if you give me 45 minutes, I can get this ship in here. Well, that's not super useful. Not really. It's what can I easily fit? I want to know, is there more gunnery stations down here? No, I don't see anything. This would be the place for it, right? Oh, they each have their own. There we go. They each have their own. So you've got the, what did I say? Like 6, was it 4 and 2, something like that? But then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 8 more rifle sections down here. So I was going to say, where do their guns go? Do they get one here too? No. Okay, so we do have a few more. And obviously you just jump out here. You got dudes covering, shooting to cover you. There is that air locker. Great spot to hunt Copian. But again, you could do it from there as well, or you could just hop in the turret. Blast away. All right, I have one more that I thought about as I started this. And then I've got one more honorable mention. So one more real option, one more honorable mention. I think the cost still works for this one, even though I thought of it as I was already halfway through the ship. We'll find out in a minute. All right, well, this is my next one. And this honestly is more just a bougie version of using a cutter as your home base, right? Because obviously we've got a motorcycle bay, which will fit the X1 Force, but I didn't back it up quite enough. And then I got out and I didn't turn off the shields. And so it won't let me tractor beam it. But also it won't let me back in. So yeah, so we can try pushing it up here, but I'm not sure it's gonna like it. Realistically, the pulse goes on here beautifully, but I don't own a pulse at the moment. So what's gonna happen? It bounced it in. Perfect. Oh, it's rotating. It's rotating. We'll see. Maybe it'll stay. Maybe it won't. It's still moving. I don't know. It is possible, though. I have done it. Oh, we need to open the ramp here, though. First of all, let's talk about the stuff I haven't mentioned yet, because I haven't even pulled it up here yet. So let's go here. We want Origin. We want the 400i. In-game, the ship costs 11 million, almost 12. So it's not cheap, but that's not terrible. That's not terrible. 400, 250. Okay. So $100 less than the Asgard and 125 less than the TAC. So it is in fact the cheapest ship in both ways. Now, it has 870 DPS pilot controlled. I believe that's all pilot controlled. Only 45,000 shield. This is not a ship that you're going to be shooting out turrets with. It's not. You're going to land it. You're going to drive in. You're going to deal with it that way. It has no medical bed. And I don't know of a way to get a medical bed on it. So in that way, it falls down on this. You're going to have to find someplace else to sleep each night. Oh, if you die, you're going to pop up somewhere else. So don't die. There's a bed. That airlock, again, is a great place to hunt Copian from. So you do still have some of that. There's our bike. It's finally settled down. Yeah, see, there we go. It fits. It fits just fine. Let's go ahead and close the ramp. You've got suit lockers here. So you've got 4 suit lockers. If and when they ever mean anything, they're very cool. We've got these down here, which I guess are going to be all your components. Are they componentized yet? I don't think it's had its gold pass. It is not. There's nothing in here yet. So components will go there at some point, which is pretty cool because if they catch on fire, in theory, they won't come out through the rest of it, which is pretty neat. Now, one of the things that this ship has that I think people forget about is it does have a little garage, and you can put a vehicle on it. It's not going to be a big vehicle, right? But you can put a little something like this on. You can put a Drake Mule. You might even be able to get a rock, but you're going to have to back it on this way or come in from this direction because there is a little tractor beam down there that really, really cuts down on the height. You can't really get anything much taller than this in there past it at all. But for the most part, if you can get it under the ship, it'll fit in here because that's about as much room total if you would have driven in from the front that you're going to have. So you can kind of figure it out. Like I said, a rock might work. You can put an Atlas Geo or, you know, and do some rock mining with it. In fact, you could probably put them in here and then back them up off of the ramp completely if you wanted to and use that ramp for a vehicle plus, or just put them here with this one. Does it say down there? Oh, F3029Y. So I've got a license plate. All right. This is the Gray Cat. I don't remember. STV maybe? And you can see we've got additional, we've got our escape pods here. They look like suit lockers in other ships. They're going to want to play with some of that. So let's go up quickly. We'll see kind of what we got armory-wise beyond that. This is the front of the ship. Come on. So here is our pilot seat, cockpit, bridge, whatever. Whoa, hold on. I'm not done there yet, buddy. Bathroom. Captain's quarters. Crew quarters, and they have their own lockers. We've got a table. We've got a kitchen. And because this is meant to be an exploration ship a la the Carrick, it also has a wormhole, grav, whatever display that you can do. And you can see it does have a big rear turret that is controlled up front. So your 2 co-pilots handle your turrets. One thing I don't see anywhere, I think that's just normal. Yeah, that's closet space. We've got storage under the beds, but I don't see... Did you see a weapons locker down here? Was it in here maybe? No? Power plants. So more components will go in here. Are they open? Oh, wait, that actually has a power plant in it. Has something in it. So we have some of our... Okay, we've got some of our components. I did not see anywhere in here maybe? Nope, just more components. Was it out here? These are just suit lockers, right? Oh, weapons, it's down here. So 3 suit lockers. Oh, that's actually pretty good. So we've got 6 rifles and 9 pistols. So you're not going to get another ship in here to fly, but you do have a motorcycle storage. Again, a Pulse fits the best on there. You can just barely get an X1 on there. Anything else is going to be too long. No medical beds, obviously, this way, and obviously no hangar space. So this is more just a bougie cutter. Right, you can get a bike in there for some ground transport. You've got a little bit of cargo space. It just costs significantly more, but damn, does it look good, right? So I've got one more. I've made a couple of attempts at filming this video today, and earlier I said I did not have this ship I was going to give it an honorable mention, but I said I don't have it, so I can't test it. But I forgot I bought it. For the last patch, I took all my money and I just bought a bunch of ships because I didn't know if there's going to be a wipe, and I didn't know what I was going to want to repurchase after a wipe. What was going to be on my what was on my list of ships that are a must rebuy after I lose the 30 some vehicles that I've purchased with AUEC, and there were some that I hadn't tried that I was interested in. So I've got one more to show you. Give me uno momento, por favor. And as you can see behind me, it is a 600i. Yeah, I know, we're wrapping it up. I promise, I promise. With, I think, Best in Show paint. All right. I have the Expedition. This is the one I have here, which is listed as slightly more money. I bought mine in game, but $475. If we take a look at it here, for in-game money, 27 million from Area 18 at the Astral Armada. Now, it's got 622 DBS. I think it's got 3 size 5s. Remote top. Yeah, 3 size 5s that are pilot controlled, and 90,000 quadrant shields. So we're back with the TAC. We're back with a Carrick, and probably the Carrick's the best comparison for this. They're both Expedition, luxury Expedition. I would say the Anvil is the Anvil Carrick is slightly less, although it's not nearly as military-esque as the initial renders were, which were just stupid cool. So this is more of your civilian expedition, whereas the Carrick is meant to be a civilianized military expedition. So luxury versus utilitarian. I think the Carrick looks pretty luxurious if you ask me. So let's take a look at it, because I'll be honest with you, I hadn't really thought about it much at all, and I didn't think I had one, and I forgot. And let us go take a look. We might have to do some does it fit tests here, although I don't think so. Oh, it looks so good in that paint. I think I got the paint afterwards. As part of the Invictus sale, I think. I might fly this more. I told you, every ship I've shown you here, I love, with the exception of the 400i, which I like. That one came with the Explorer package that came with my... where is the button? Oh, there's one down here probably on the ground. Is this one? I have to find the spot. All right, well, that's not. Oh, there it is. So I'm guessing this does not have its gold pass yet if I'm having to just randomly click areas out. Same thing here. Is this just find this spot? Yeah, find the spot. All right, so we're not going to fit anything huge. Well, hold on. Let's put this up first. Yeah, no. What can I fit? Which side did I put ground vehicles? What I should have out is my links. This is the one the links goes on, if it fits, right? I keep thinking it should go on the Carrick, but this is more bougie than the Carrick. We'll switch over to the controller here so my driving's a little bit better. I think I want to approach this from the front. And then we'll kind of see how it goes. Just because it's a little wider there. Okay, well, it doesn't like that. Is that there? Oh, yeah. Perfect, I think. All right, so we can fit a NURSA, URSA, MTC on here, right? Because they're all the same size. So this one obviously has 2 suit lockers. We've got 2 rifles there, 2 there. So this one also has some. No, not that door. Otherwise, what door are we closing? Let me get back in here so I don't bump my head. Okay. Now, my understanding is this is not the grid. All the cargo grid is around the outside, and that this is just an elevator. And we could obviously come quite a bit farther forward. We could easily put a pulse sideways here, or if we pull it all the way forward, well, it's narrower back here. I don't know. But potentially you put a bike up here too. I don't know where we are in this thing. That's the front. So let's go towards the back, I guess. This looks like it's supposed to be suit lockers. That makes sense, right? Or hanging lockers anyway for stuff. Okay. Mind your head against what? Like what? There's plenty of room. I don't know what they're talking about. Elevator. Ooh, okay. Bedrooms. Suit lockers. Nice changing area, right? Do we got guns in any of these? That door doesn't open. I don't know if these are going to be components. I assume they're going to be components. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they're... Oh, okay. And then we've got C1, C2, 3, C... Oh, okay. So this is each crew member, right? So this is their escape pods. And then potentially this is their locker, their storage closet for each of them, right? And then in here in the bathroom, they all have their own locker space, kind of an actual locker, right? So one of these is, toilet and shower. That one says male. Did this one say female? No, they just say person. I guess it's a person, not a male. Okay. Or we're just really sexist at origin. Okay. Not bad. So no gun lockers yet and no suit lockers, right? Those are escape pods? Escape pods. Okay. We'll be back to the elevator. Let's look forward. Because there was a person elevator to get on board this ship. So I'm assuming that is in here somewhere. That's probably that. Looks like it goes up. And we've got lovely... Is this the bedroom? Oh, that's the master bedroom. Okay. Okay, we got interesting little support there. But we've got a little living wall there. Not bad. We've got a desk on this side. Okay. I'm learning this ship with you guys. I think I've been in here one time. I think I bought it and then never actually flew it. And I didn't even have it recalled. I had to recall it here this time. I just got too much crap. So, step. So is that more escape pods then? That's got to be more escape pods. Otherwise, it wouldn't have a step, right? Okay, let's go towards the back. Is that open? It was open. It just has a lot of glare. Okay, we can look down. Nice. Yes. It's Washington's birthday today. Or President's Day, however they want to do it. I don't know. What does it say these seats do? Oh, be careful. I think you can fall through there. So scanning station. Scanning station. So these will go with that. And this will be, again, like the 400i and the Carrick. That'll be our wormhole detection navigation section, right? That was that elevator we saw down below. We had, go here first. Here we go. Ooh. All right. So, interesting. 2, 4, 6, 7 rifles and, I don't know, 12 pistols? 11 pistols? And then these would be our suit lockers, I guess. Do they not open? Oh, we got double. Oh, hold on. You got to open it there and there, not from the. Yeah, this has definitely not had its final pass, right? It has buttons that don't work. You just click in the middle. So we've got double that, and eventually we'll have some probably 4. Well, 5, right? I mean, it's S2, S3, S. Well, maybe this is S1, S. Yeah, it is. Suit armor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does this not have a number on it? Interesting. That one doesn't have a number. Okay. A little bit of a mistake in their labeling in there, right? Okay. So good armor, suit stuff, and then we've got a lovely little bar up here, fully stocked. Nice, that we probably can't get to. Doesn't open. No, this is back in the. Let's just decorate it with stuff they can't touch, to let them know what they might be able to touch later. Little seating area there at the bar, dining area here under the roof, and I don't know where we are. Engineering spaces? Engineering spaces. Yeah, because it hasn't had its component passed, none of this works. TV, billiards, a bigger kitchen, so bar upstairs, kitchen downstairs. This place is a little bit of a maze, if I'm honest. And again, more engineering space, more engineering space. Okay, well, it's going to be kind of a pain to be an engineer on this one because stuff is split up. You got to go up to go down. But as far as a home base goes, sure. Right, so now all of this, we can't get out of here. We have to go back up a set of stairs and a ramp to go this way. Then we have to go back down this way. Well, this isn't too bad though, right? Because we've got guns there. We come right down here. We take this elevator down to the vehicle. We get on the vehicle. We fly out. Okay. That's pretty reasonable. It looks complicated, but it's not because that elevator's right there. Right. So, and then this is always open. And then this is where we fly from. Okay. So, no hangar, no medical bed. We've got room for a vehicle, an Ursa, potentially a small bike in front of it. Certainly a small bike if you're willing to bring it up, move it out of the way, then bring the truck on. But I think you get both on the elevator at once. Lots of firepower, good shields. So it's a Carrick minus the, well, it's a Carrick with more guns, but no medical bed and no hangar. I think the Carrick's the better option. But man, this looks good, huh? Should we fire it up? Or do I have to get in the seat here? And this is even farther behind, I think, on its component passes than the Carrick is. The Carrick, at least most of the buttons, like the door switches and stuff, work. This, none of them work. You just have to point to the middle of the door. There's all that windowed for the living spaces. There's our 3 big size 5 guns. It looks sleek. It's going to catch rainwater. It's got a rainwater retrieval system to get you fresh water on the planet. Man, it looks good. Yeah, honorable mention. This is essentially, if the 400i is the bougie version of the Drake, as far as using it as a mothership, this is the even more bougie version of the 400i. We're not getting anything extra. We've got a motorcycle, we've got a vehicle, small vehicle, slightly bigger vehicle in this case. It could be an Ursa, actually. So you could get your medical bed on here, unlike the 400i, where I don't think you can. So I guess in that case, but you're still missing a hangar. But we did find a way to get a medical bed. Okay, so NERSA on the 600i gets you a medical bed, which makes sense for an exploration ship. You should have some way of getting a medical bed on it, because if you're in a whole nother system, you spend all your time, you're exploring, you're jumping through wormholes, and then you die somewhere. You don't want to end up 6 systems back and have to do all that again. You want to be able to spawn where you are. So there needs to be a way to get a medical bed out there with you. Otherwise, I don't think it's much use. But so maybe this one's better than the 400i. Maybe this is a 400i is the honorable mention, and this is a, I don't know. You guys let me know. What ships do you think make great what make good motherships? I think you want room for another spaceship of some sort, room for a vehicle, and medical beds. Potentially opportunities to mine or to salvage, whether that be hand mining. I mean, you can hand mine in anything, I guess. Geo or vehicle or even a golem. I love the fact that there's crafting on the Carrick. Again, that brings us back to the Clipper, which has crafting and a medical bed, and you can log out. It just doesn't easily hold a vehicle, though I know you can get a bike on the ramp. Don't at me for that. But we all know that ramps and vehicles do not always mix well. For that matter, I could put one probably on the steps for the 400i and get 2 bikes in it. But I like it has that. None of the others have crafting, but I think all of them have room in them, including this, to put a crafting bench workstation when they come out. So don't get hung up on the crafting. I think anything that's going to be able to fit a vehicle is going to be able to fit a crafting bench, right? You'll be able to put one somewhere. So what did I miss? Is there, I don't have every ship. Obviously there's Polarises, there's Idrises, there'll be the Liberator, there'll be a Merchantman, there'll be, I didn't put a Caterpillar in here. There'll be the Ironclad. Caterpillar would work though, right? It's got a garage, it's got the storage spaces. It works as well as some of these. No hangar though. And it's kind of a pain in the butt to land on a planet if you don't have a pad, because it's so long. Figuring out a fairly level way can be a little bit difficult, but it does also have the big elevator. So you could put a vehicle, like a 4-wheel vehicle in the front, and then a couple bikes on the elevator. So maybe. I don't think I missed anything else. I guess a Taurus, you can put a bike on the elevator, or probably even that little Gray Cat STV or whatever it is, that's wherever I put it. Did I leave it on the 400i? I might have left it on the 400i. I don't remember if you can fit an Ursa on that one or not. But you have the Kruger, right? So I think it's still bugged, but in theory, you can put a snub fighter on that. You don't really need one on that one. To be fair, it's like the Corsair. It doesn't really need a second ship. It just needs a medical bed of some sort. So I guess you need to get an Ursa on it to really fit our definition. But if you can fit an Ursa, medical Ursa on there, I guess the Taurus. Do any of the models have a medical bed? I don't think they do, because there's like 6 models of a Taurus. I don't know. You let me know. Talk to you next time. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We'll see you. Cheers.